You start.
Welcome, everybody. This is Coffee Talk about Neurographica with Lana and Rain.
Yes, we're here to coffee talk with you. And, all respect to the original coffee talkers. We love them. Okay. All right.
And talking about coffee talk, yeah, you have your mug. I have my mug. What's on your mug?
Mine's coffee. Coffee.
What's on your mug? What's on your mug?
Today I have stripes, but tomorrow I might have my own neuro art one that I made. Well,
Oh, I'm excited to see that one. I want to see the neuro art one.
It'll be fun.
Okay.
So we're here to share with all of you.
Mine has a picture of my kids. So
with the kids.
Yeah. Yes. They're in school now, but they're always next to me. But yeah, I'm so excited. This is our very first pilot episode of the Coffee Talk. So people are going to be like, Coffee Talk, huh?
Oh, we have mad respect to Saturday Night Live and the original Coffee Talkers. We all respect. Just so you know, copyright syndicate things.
Barbara.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so Coffee Talk mostly because it's just so easy to have fun with it. So we want you to come and have fun with us. And Lana's my teacher. I'm so blessed to be here with her today because she brought me the first experience with Neurographica. And then I asked her many questions. And finally, she was like, we should share this with everybody. And we should, because talking amongst yourselves is not enough. We need to share. So here we are. So we're going to find out why Lana started her neurographic journey. And then I'll tell you the silly, funny story how I fell into her class and I didn't know what I was taking. That's always a very funny story, to join a coaching class when you think it's an art class. That's a good place to start. I'm going to pass it to Lana for a minute because she's been doing this for a while and she's going to tell you a little bit about what it is. For all you people who don't know what it is, how you can use it in your life. It's a coaching tool. Just pausing there. It's a coaching tool. I didn't know that, but it works. Even if you don't know it works because, well, I'm going to let her tell you about it and pass it to her. Tell us about the algorithm. Tell us about the magic. Oh, look, she caught it in the air. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all right on. I felt like it was too dark for me.
I thought you were.
Yeah, I was mesmerized by your hair, by the way, Rain. Your neuro hair, I realized. The neuro hair. You do realize you have neuro hair, right? It looks like Neuroline. That's the best part. I was just looking at it and I was mesmerizing. And I'm like, why am I mesmerized? Bingo, Neurolines. Why do people get mesmerized with Neurographica? Neuro lines.
Okay. And what is that actually called? It's a line that's trademarked.
Yes, it's trademarked after the founder, who is Pavel Piskaryov. And Pavel trademarked it as Piskaryov's line, which is the most hilarious thing, and everybody talks about it. How do you trademark a line, right? It's a line, it's a graphic line, but it's an unusual line. If you're familiar with Neurographica, you know what I'm talking about. That's where all the magic is, right? You can put we did that yesterday in the neurocomposition, right? You can put all the shapes, you can do whatever you want to. Unless you add the neuro line, which I call the lifeline, it has nothing to do, the shapes are just going to be shaped. Once you add the neuro lines, look at those beautiful hair. That's when everything starts.
Absolutely nothing repeating here. Nothing repeating, right? That's the magic. The
yes.
Line,
Pavel. That's the natural way. Yes, the neuro line. That's why the way we learn to draw neuro lines has to be very naturally. In nature, nothing ever repeats itself. If you look, all the patterns are really never patterns because they still never repeat itself, right? Any patterns in nature are very unique. And that's why when we learn how to draw a neuroline, we learn to draw very unique, not repeating itself, but we will get to it further, right?
Yeah.
We will make a separate session. We will talk about the neuroline and the magic it brings. But meanwhile, just keep looking at Rain's hair. They're going to get you magic.
And it's true, like it's calming, right? This is chaotic, but calming. And that's a really fun part because if you look at Neurographica and you're just starting to see it, I know my friends are, and blowing you all up with it. And you guys are trying it and drawing it and having fun. And that's the most important part, that you're having fun, because it's as beneficial to your health as a yoga class. You know, if you're not familiar with this experience, you will have an all body experience, whether it was Alexander technique or Pilates or yoga or meditation or Tai Chi, or must I go on? If you're interested in the healing arts, you need to put this one in your toolbox. And it's, if you don't speak Russian, it's new. And Lana can tell you more about the story of the Russian part, because for anyone in the American group right now, or amongst my friends, or if you're sharing this, we have not heard of this. Again, maybe you speak Russian. I don't speak Russian. So tell us, Lana, why is it in Russian, and why is it so exciting that it's coming to America and having an English program? Because that's what we want you guys to know. Like, this is coming to America. Like, we're having, I'm stupid excited. Okay, say
I'm verklempt. I'm verklempt. I'm
all right,
verklempt.
so Lana, tell us why this is so exciting. I do have chills all over my body, guys, because it's new. Like, when's the last time you learned something new? I mean, maybe pickleball, right? Pickleball is kind of new, but you don't have to put your athletic shoes on to do this one. Okay, now go ahead, Lana. Tell them why it's so
No
exciting.
athletic shoes necessary, but you do have to put your creative part on, and your thinking and wondering part, and you're like, neuro what? Neuro what? And you're like,
and yeah, right. Your spec is not going to know how to spell it. So before we're done here, make sure we write it for people to see it.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
It's not in your spell check. No, the word is new.
We're gonna do that. I'm gonna actually type it up on the screen here when I do editing the video, so people can see Neurographica. Neurographica. Okay, those of you who do know Neurographica, you're gonna be like, oh, I love Neurographica. Everybody does it, right? They're like mesmerized with it. So Neurographica, what is so cool about Neurographica? Let me tell you, before we talk about ourselves, talk amongst ourselves or about ourselves, let's talk about the founder, the person who made it all happen, right?
Let's tell.
So I want to share with you the picture, so you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Who is Pavel Piskaryov? You know that last name you can't say. Americans are gonna be like, P what? You know, I had a friend. I'm going to share my stories. Rain knows I love sharing stories. I had a friend. Her last name was Madievskaya, right? Try saying that, Madievskaya. And we were in college, and she was marrying another friend of ours. You know, they dated, and his last name was Weiner. And when she was getting married, we're like, Kate, are you going to change your last name? And she looked at us like, with the last name Madievskaya, are you kidding me? I can't wait to change my last name. She's like, no, none of the professors can ever say my name. Madi what? You know, so there you go. Piskaryov, that's a bit easier than Madievskaya. There you go. Okay, can you guys see my share screen? Rain, can you see my share screen?
There it is. Yes, it is. There he is.
That's what he is.
He has no neurographic hair. Oops.
No neurographic hair.
But look what's behind
Mr.
him.
Clean. You know what I did? He has a birthday. His birthday is in December. On his birthday, I think 2 years ago, I sent him a copy. I couldn't send him the real book, but I sent him an electronic copy of Harold and the Purple Crayon. And I said, you know, I was reading this book to my kids and reminded me of you because you're Harold. You know, remember Harold had that hair? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's a great book.
And so, right, so I sent him this book, and I was like, you know, you totally remind me of. I was reading this book, and I'm like, oh, so this book is about Pavel Piskaryov. There you go. Those of you who don't know, this is Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's about this boy, but the point is that, you know, he also has no hair. That's how I got the resemblance. I'm like, okay, he looks like Pavel, you know. I mean, he's a child. But the point is, he has magic crayons.
But that is the point. Yeah, maybe that's part of what it is. Pavel is still a child. It's
not fully a neuroline, but hey, he's a child. He's just learning. But the point is, he creates a whole world. If you're not familiar with the story, you need to read it. He created the whole world, right? There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed the moon for the walk in the moonlight. So he drew the moon, and it comes alive. That's the whole story. And I found it to be so relevant to what Neurographica is, right? You draw the pathway, you draw the road, right? So I want to tell you, this is what Rain was referring to, the story about how Pavel came up with Neurographica. I find the story to be totally fascinating because he's a fascinating, personally, he's a person, that fascinating personality, right? Rain, you don't speak any Russian, and even then you follow him and you find him fascinating, right?
Absolutely. Like, to all my English speaking friends, if you are looking at some of the videos and they're in Russian and you think, oh, I won't get it, just turn the volume down and just watch. And the magic still happens because it's a somatic process. It's the pen, it's in your hand, it's in your body. It's a practice. It's no different than any practice that you could engage in. I repeat myself, but it's something we can all learn, something we can all do. And it's not limited to only English. I'm just excited because to have teachers who speak English means we can propel our education. So this gentleman doesn't speak English, but now he has folks who have trained under him. I'm just super excited because we get to hear stories. So
Okay.
gather.
Yeah, the story comes, okay? The story is that
Tell us the story.
Pavel Piskaryov, just give you a background on who he is, right? You guys can read it on the screen, but in general, he's a psychologist. He has his PhD. He's an architect. He's a coach. He's been a coach for the last 20 years, I think, ever since coaching came into, into action. And he's been a practicing coach, right? So he coaches people, he coaches corporations, right? And he's a Reiki master. He's whatever you want to call him. He's a diver. He's a professional diver. So really, really, honestly, he has you can see his website here. You can go and you can read all about him. So Pavel lived in Israel for 10 years in the Holy Land. And what he did there, actually, he was one of the first people to present Reiki, to practice Reiki, to initiate Reiki practice in Russian language in Israel, right? In Israel, they a lot about Reiki, like people go to Reiki a lot. It's very, very widespread. So, and then Pavel moved back to Russia, like about, I would say 10 years ago, maybe more. And he was a practicing coach. He worked with corporations, directors and stuff like that. And he always wanted to create something on his own or his very own. He always tells a story, right? He's like, I always wanted to do my own mark. I want to bring in my own mark in the current field of psychology, art, because he's an artist, he's an architect and he's an artist. He's a professional artist. He's part of the Artists Association in Russia. By the way, if you are a Neurographica instructor in Russia, you can become a part of the Artists Association because Neurographica is also art. So, and he was like thinking, what can I do that would combine psychology, architecture, art, coaching? And he was like, and then one day while he was traveling on the airplane from Russia to Israel, he's telling the story, and he never sleeps on the airplane. He says, he's like, a few hours on the airplane, what do you do? Of course you draw. Why would I ever sleep? All of a sudden he fell asleep. And he had a dream where he had the word Neurographica come to him. And he woke up, and right there on the airplane, he logs into the computer, he had his laptop, and he started looking up what is Neurographica like. And he finds that this word is not patented. It doesn't exist in the Google search, right? So right away, he calls his lawyer. He's like, can you patent this word for me? I want to patent the word Neurographic. And he patented the word, but it doesn't stop there. He created this whole method. He actually creates it from nothing, from scratch, from coming just the word Neurographica. So he started to understand, what does the word mean? Neuro starts with the neurons, right? Neuropsychology, and graphica. And he realized graphica has to do with graphics, architecture, the line. And he created the whole method literally from scratch. He came up with the whole idea of Neuroline, the algorithm, the combining of the shapes. I mean, the combining of the shapes is very much, if you're familiar with psychology, it's very much a, Jungian. It's a Jungian psychology. Jung was the one who came up with archetypes. Jung was the one who came up with, various, bringing in the Eastern philosophy within the Western psychology field, right? But what Pavel did, he went further. He actually took those shapes, those elements, and he combined them. He gave them meaning. He didn't give them meaning. The meaning was there, but he brought the meaning within the field of coaching, psychology, and that's so unique, okay? Pavel is a very unique personality. I personally know him. I personally met him. I went to the instructor's intensive 3 years ago in 2018 when I was when I was learning to become an instructor, and I met him. He is an amazing personality. I want to tell you, come into the room and you can feel it's like 300 people, but you feel his energy. He's one of those leaders. He's a leader. That's what it is. The truth is, right? And he has this amazing energy that gives off, and you go with that energy, and it works for you. I want to tell you, what I learned for 9 months during being the instructor's course and being in the intensive is 50-50. That 1 week of intensive for me, it was even 6 days. I couldn't stay for 7 days, but 6 days of intensive, because it's intensive, all you do is draw from 9 o'clock, from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And it was awesome.
And
we're going
this
to
is
do that. As soon as we start the instructor's course, we're going to do that in America too.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. I promise you. I had that dream. It's like a retreat kind of thing. So
Right.
that's what it is. That's who Pavel is. That's the story. And I want to bring one more thing to you guys.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I wonder where it is. I'm wondering what it is. Okay. I'm going to find it. I'm going to share. I want to share a passage that Pavel says. The story I told you about how NeuroGraphica came along is also associated with a special someone you probably see if you follow Pavel on Facebook. You see him with his daughter. Her name is Capitolina. And he says openly that when she was born 11 years ago, that's when he had this idea that he wants to bring some unique mark on the world. And NeuroGraphica was born at this year. It's going to be 7 years old. So
That's
not
amazing.
long after she was born.
That,
Yeah.
like, I think that's what's
He
so
inspired
exciting.
him.
New. It's new. I know that sounds so strange, but honestly, I hadn't learned something new in so long, which is why when I joined Lana's class, I didn't even know what I was joining. It's that new. It was just sort of like jumping in. And for all my friends who do intentional creativity, studying with Musea and Shalom, many of you are crossing over the Color of Woman. I see the crossovers on the Color of Woman page, the Red Thread page, and Neurographica. This is like going to be an amazing union. So welcome all the Color of Women people. I see you out there on the threads. It's very exciting. It's very marriageable. These two go together like butter. They're smooth like butter. They're like butter.
We got to bring in the coffee talk, right? You know, I was thinking maybe we should get one of those wigs. You know, next week is Purim. Should we get like a black wig? I'm going to be Linda Richmond. Who do you want to be, Madonna or Barbara Streisand? Hair, Barbara Streisand.
I have to know this, but I have to figure.
Right. Hey,
Well,
you can sing. You can sing. We'll pull it
and then
off.
we'll tell you more, because right now, like, what do we want to share now? What else?
Okay,
what else
I want to share before we finish today's segment. I want to share this. You see the same picture, but what does it say in the top? In honor of my daughter, Capitolina. And this is what it's all about. I think we're going to do it one day. I have a video already that I did of this presentation, but I think we should do it again. What do you think, Ray? Maybe we'll do it together. Maybe we'll discuss the presentation, but this is the beginning. That's how I was the one to translate the presentation and its purpose, energy, creativity. And this is the trademark phrase, transforming the world by the tip of a marker.
Oh, it's fantastic. See, these are the things that we're going to learn. We wanted to do this little vignettes because I traditionally have Lana all to myself, and I get all these stories. I get these. We just needed you all to see this. Oh, yeah, I'm living in Virginia. I said y'all. I did. That's not coffee talking, but still. Oh, I diverge.
Yeah, we're gonna continue.
This isn't a live thing. There's many teachers. Like, don't limit your education. And it's a community.
We are going to bring them here. This is a community-wise project. We're starting to discuss what Neurographic is, because I teach the basics course, and basics course is like, what, 12 hours long, and people watching it and they're still asking me, how do I do the coloring? How do I do the field lines? And I said, and I had this idea for a long time where I do little segments of how-to videos. And then while talking with Rain one day, I'm like, why don't we just do a coffee talk, since we both love the coffee talk with Linda Richmond. And you know, hey, I live in Florida nowadays, right? There you
Oh my
go.
God.
Iconic. Me living in Florida is very iconic, right?
It is.
And
But yeah, you have
although I'm not in Miami, so there you go. You know, I'm still a
true.
bit not a
But
part
her
of the
accent is real. Lana's accent's real. Mine I just borrow, but
gorgeous.
she goes to the elements. She has the New Yorker. She's part of that.
New
Don't
York.
deny yourself. Don't deny yourself your origins.
Never, never go.
Never.
Okay.
Right enough.
So
But
we are gonna actually, this is fun. I said we should make it fun. You know, amusing enough to watch because we're amusing ladies.
oh my God.
And informative. We're not drawing today, but next time expect some drawing as a part
Bring
of
your magic wands, your
yes, if
pencils.
you want to
your-
draw with us. Bring your, you know what Pavel does, right? He says, take your markers, and I'm gonna do that. And he says, start making music with your markers, with your
Yeah.
markers. Okay.
So that's what
And
we're
Barbara
gonna do.
Streisand part for you.
Yeah. Next time we come together in this community, because it's about the community. So please,
Yeah.
you know, come and join. And if you have questions, like maybe you have burning questions out there, you're like, can somebody explain the such and such and such? Somewhere, because Lana will put it somewhere. I know she will. We'll put somewhere you could ask her, because this will be somewhere. I don't know
I
yet.
believe it's going to be in the world of Neurographica because that's
There you
exactly what
go.
we're going to be dealing with. The world of Neurographica. Again,
There you go.
wall community-wide project, okay? We're going to start talking about Neurographica, but start bringing in people. If you want to see some people on the show, we're welcome to do that. We're going to introduce you to different people, you know, different instructors. So many people are graduating, and should I tell them the secret about the English speaking Neurographica course? Should I bring it out?
It's all about the
Okay,
secret.
it's a leak. Shh, it's a leak. It's a wiki leak. Okay. The word is we're starting in May, the Neurographica instructors course in English, but I haven't told you that, right? Okay. Because Pavel didn't tell me to say it officially yet. Okay. Just coffee talk. Okay. Ray, make sure you don't tell anybody. Okay. Okay.
But
so,
if you're at all excited,
the
come
reason
back.
is that we have so many instructors, right? Me and Margarita, my partner, is just the two of us. There are so many of us, and we're brilliant and we're amazing. And we all bring, Rain knows that, we all bring a different aspect of what Neurographica is. I'm more of an instructor. So I'm going to give you so much knowledge. Your head is going to be like, what? Wait a minute. I need to grow my brain to get this, right? And Margarita is a coaching part. Like Margarita is awesome. She's a professional coach, and she does this coaching session is like butter, right? Butter, right? There's no any other.
Butter.
And
So
Rain is the artist here. Rain is going to talk about art and
bring you art.
The art part was like, ooh, you know, because that's what Neurographic is about. That's what Pavel, what he created is amazing. In Russian, we have one instructor, and she's an architect, like a professional architect, and she talks from an architect point of view. It's so amazing to see different aspects. No matter who you are, what's your background, you're going to find your Neurographica, your part of Neurographica within the whole field. That's the beauty of it, right?
And don't let this video be the end. Like, take this and go down the rabbit hole. Go watch videos, go see teachers, go see faces. You'll realize this is a huge community. It's just very small in America right now. Like, even I like to remind the people who are in the community already when they're like, oh, you know, it's kind of like when you live near Big Ben. You're like, oh, there's Big Ben. You take it for granted. It's so new for us here in America. Just keep your eyes open. You know, Margarita actually said this in the class the other day. She's like, you know, when someone says, don't look at the white car, and then you see white cars all day long, right? So we're alerting your brain. We're creating stimulus for you. Neurographica, neuro art, neurocalligraphy. You have a friend doing a neurocalligraphy class. When you see neuro and it has a fun word after it, like not like neurodiabetes or something, right? We're talking about like the fun stuff, the not dire neurological crazy, but the word neurons is in it for a reason, people. It's because it's about the elasticity in your brain, the stimulation. We all know the brain does build new cells, right? If you don't know that, that's a whole nother topic. We can talk about that. But just like you do your Sudoku, you know, and your crosswords, you can add this to your toolbox of mental stimulation. You can be any age And I love that part. I love that part so much because my daughter can do it. If I had parents who were older still on the planet, like maybe they would do it, but still, it's really accessible. If you can draw a circle, a triangle, a square, and a Papa P line, a Piscario line.
Yay!
I've been practicing.
Woo!
Yeah, you can do this. So please don't limit yourself.
And we're gonna say
Come and
goodbye.
play. Come and play with us. Say goodbye. Say
We're
goodbye.
gonna say
Lana.
goodbye. We're not saying goodbye regularly. We're gonna say goodbye with Neurographica pictures, okay?
Yes.
I'm
good
sharing
job.
some of the pictures I have.
Woo.
Rain, you preparing your album for next time?
Yes, ma'am. Look at those. So much happening there, right? It looks chaotic, but it's calming. And I think that's a really nice thing in the middle of lockdown and COVID and transitions. And I mean, we're all, I don't know about you, but I'm home a lot more. So if you have the ability to get some paper, some colors, some pens, some pencils, some crayons, you know, gosh, you could draw on a paper bag if you were really needing a piece of paper. Look at this stuff. So please come and draw with us. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And if you can't come draw with us, my goodness, find someone to draw with, right? Like,
yep, that's exactly what it's about. Just draw. Just draw. You know what Pavel's line is? This is what he says. He says, my job in this world is to make sure the whole planet is drawing.
Yes.
And that's the word we're leaving.
It reminds me of, I thought about this last night. So for all my friends who are kind of like into that, Hands Across America. Remember Hands Across America?
Yeah.
We tried to do that. So imagine everybody drawing at the same time and conjoining, because that's the word we use, creating community, integration. There's great words later on. But I have this vision of like, what if enough people were drawing all at the same time? Imagine like it would be a hug for the world. Isn't that, it's kind of goofy, but that's what I think.
And that's what I'm leaving you with. Just draw, okay? Get your markers. If you didn't start drawing yet, we're starting maybe tomorrow, maybe in 2 days. Yeah, we're preparing for the next segment for you already. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Rain, it was a pleasure having the talk with you with a coffee. Okay. Bye. See you next time at the Coffee Talk.
It was such a pleasure. I'll see you next time. Thank you, dear. It was lovely. Lovely.